There comes a time in life when you find yourself walking a road that seems lonely, a path where familiar faces fade and the world you once knew feels distant. You wonder why relationships crumble, why the people you once trusted slip away, and why silence becomes your closest companion. But what if this solitude is not a punishment, but a divine invitation? What if God is setting you apart not to break you, but to awaken something within you that only isolation can reveal? Every great transformation begins with separation. The seed must be buried in darkness before it can break open and reach for the light. The caterpillar must be wrapped in stillness before it can take flight, and so it is with you. God calls you into solitude because there are things He must whisper to your soul that the noise of the world would drown out. He removes the distractions, the opinions, the expectations, and even the comfort so that you may come face to face with your own divinity. When everything around you is stripped away, you begin to see clearly. You recognize that your strength was never in the crowd, but in the one who breathed life into you. You discovered that your worth was never in validation, but in the truth, that you were chosen before the foundation of the world. You realized that what you thought was loneliness was actually alignment, a sacred preparation for the destiny that awaits you. God isolates His chosen ones because He has called them to something greater. You cannot carry the weight of divine purpose while clinging to the things that no longer serve you. You cannot step into new blessings while holding on to old attachments. So He removes, He refines, He resets the people who walked away were not meant to stay. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers were not meant to hold the places you outgrew, were not meant to contain you. If you feel alone, understand that you are not abandoned, you are being elevated. This is the moment where you must, not in what you see, but in the unseen hand that is guiding you. The stillness is not emptiness. It is an open space where God can pour into you without interference. The silence is not rejection. It is an invitation to hear Him more clearly. You were never meant to fit in because you were created to stand out. You were never meant to walk with the crowd because you were destined to lead. And if the journey feels lonely, it is only because God is calling you higher. Let this solitude mold you, strengthen you, and prepare you. Because when the time comes, you will not return as the person you once were. You will rise as the person you are always meant to be. There is a deep mystery in being set apart, one that the world does not understand. It is easy to believe that solitude is the sign of rejection, that isolation means something has gone wrong. But in the divine order of things, to be set apart is to be prepared, and to be alone is to be strengthened. If you find yourself in a season where doors have closed, where people have walked away, where familiar comforts no longer satisfy, then you must understand this. God has removed you from the noise so that He may speak to you in the silence. You are not created to blend in with the world. You are not designed to follow the patterns of those around you. You are different, chosen, called for something greater than the ordinary rhythm of life. When God calls someone into their true purpose, He often begins by stripping away everything they thought they needed. He takes away the things that were never truly theirs to keep. He removes the relationships that would have hindered their growth. He separates them from distractions, from false security, from the need for approval. Because only in this sacred solitude can the truth of who you are be fully revealed. The discomfort of isolation is not meant to break you, but to refine you. When God removes everything familiar, He is asking you to trust in something greater than what your eyes can see. The foundation of your life is being rebuilt. Your mind is being renewed. Your spirit is being prepared for what is coming. And though it may feel painful, though it may feel as if you are wandering without direction, know this: nothing is being taken away that will not be replaced with something. Greater look at the lives of those who were used mightily by God, and you will see a pattern. Every great leader, every great teacher, every great visionary was first called into isolation. Moses was set apart in the wilderness before he could lead. Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned before he could rule. David was anointed but had to enjoy years of solitude before he could wear the crown. Even Jesus Himself withdrew into the wilderness before stepping fully into His divine purpose. Why? Because there are lessons that can only be learned in solitude. There is strength that can only be gained in stillness. There is a voice that can only be heard in silence. You have been called into this season not to suffer, but to transform. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being abandoned. You are being positioned And though your mind may seek answers, though, your heart may long for understanding. Faith will teach you that the answers do not come from the world, but from within. The solitude is not meant to weaken you. It is meant to awaken you. It is a divine reset, an invitation to step into a new reality, one where you no longer rely on what is external, but on the infinite power that has always been within you. In this season, you must release the need for validation. You must let go of the illusion that you need people to complete you. You must surrender the idea that you are missing something, because the truth is nothing has been lost. What is truly yours can never be taken from you. The people meant to walk with you will return. In divine timing, the doors that need to open will do so effortlessly. But first you must come to know yourself without all the external distractions. You must stand in your own presence, unshaken by the absence of others, unwavering in your faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Solitude is a mirror. It reveals what is hidden. It strips away the masks. It forces you to face the parts of yourself that have been neglected, the wounds that have been ignored, the fears that have been buried. And it is in this sacred unveiling that true healing begins. Because when everything external is removed, you are left with the only thing that ever truly matters, your connection to the divine. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can comprehend. Every great transformation requires a period of isolation. Every masterpiece begins in the unseen. Every destiny is first shaped in the quiet places before it is revealed to the world. And so if you find yourself alone, do not despair. Do not resist. Do not seek to escape the silence. Instead, embrace it. Dive into it. Listen to the whispers of your soul. For in this stillness, in this sacred solitude, you will find the very thing you have been searching for all along. You will come to see that you were never truly alone. You were never abandoned, never forsaken. The presence of God has been with you all along, guiding you, shaping you, preparing you. And when the time comes, when the season of isolation has done its work, you will emerge renewed, transformed, awaken. You will not return as the person you once were. You will return as the person you were always meant to be, and the world will see the light that has been ignited within you, the strength that has been forged in the silence, the power that has been birthed in solitude. For now, trust the process. Trust the unfolding trust that every moment of isolation is leading you closer to your higher self, to your divine purpose, to the life that has been waiting for you all along. And when the time is right, when the preparation is complete, doors will open, the right people will come, and everything that is meant for you will be revealed. Until then, stand firm in faith. Embrace the silence and know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is a reason why you feel distant from the world, why the people you once held close seem unreachable, while the things that once brought you comfort no longer satisfy your soul. This is not a mistake. This is not a random event. You are being set apart. You are being prepared for something greater than your current reality. It is not rejection. It is elevation. It is not abandonment. It is transformation. God has chosen you for a higher calling, and with that calling comes a necessary season of separation. You cannot step into your destiny while still clinging to the past. You cannot walk in divine purpose while carrying the weight of relationships that no longer align with where you are going. So the separation comes. The solitude deepened. And in the stillness, you are forced to look within. You are forced to let go of what no longer serves you. You are forced to stand on your own, not because you are meant to be alone forever, but because you must first learn who you are without the distractions of the world. Everything you once relied on is being stripped away so that you may come to know the only thing that truly matters, your connection to the divine. This is where your strength is found. This is where your identity is revealed. This is where you discover that you are not dependent on the approval of others, that you are not defined by what you have lost, that you are not weakened by solitude, but strengthened by it. Do not resist this process. Do not fight against the changes that are unfolding in your life. There is a reason why certain people have walked away. There is a reason why doors have closed. There is a reason why you feel different, why you no longer fit into the spaces you once occupied. You are growing. You are evolving. You are being prepared for something far beyond what you can see. And with that growth comes discomfort. With that evolution comes moments of loneliness. But what you must understand is that this solitude is not emptiness. It is a sacred space where your true power is being revealed, the world will try to convince you that being alone is something to be feared, that silence is something to escape, that you must constantly surround yourself with people in order to. Behold, but the truth is, solitude is where your greatest strength is born. It is where you learn to listen not to the noise of the world, but to the voice of God within you. It is where your mind is renewed, where your faith is tested, where your purpose becomes clear. It is where you realize that you are never truly alone to begin with, that the presence of the divine has been guiding you all along, leading you toward a future far greater than you could have imagined. If you find yourself in a season of isolation, do not allow fear to take hold. Do not allow doubt to cloud your mind. Do not allow loneliness to convince you that you are forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being set apart. You are being molded. You are being strengthened in ways you cannot yet understand. What feels like loss is actually alignment. What feels like separation is actually preparation. What feels like the end is actually the beginning of something new. Every great transformation requires a period of stillness. The seed must be buried in the darkness before it can break open, and for the light. The caterpillar must be wrapped in stillness before it can become the butterfly, and so it is with you. This moment of solitude is not meant to harm you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to push you toward the version of yourself that has always been waiting on the other side of fear, doubt, and limitation. This is the season where you must learn to trust. Trust in the unseen, trust in the process. Trust that every closed door is making room for something better. Trust that every loss is clearing the way for something greater. Trust that God has not brought you this far to leave you, that every tear, every unanswered question, every moment of silence is working together for your highest good. You must come to understand that solitude is not a punishment. It is a privilege. It is an opportunity to grow without distraction, to heal without interference, to step into your power without compromise. It is in this space that you will come to see yourself clearly, not as the world defined you, but as God has always seen you, strong, capable, chosen. You will come to realize that you do not need external validation to know your worth. You do not need constant companionship to feel complete. You do not need the approval of others to walk in confidence. Everything you need has already been placed within you. And it is in this season of solitude that you will learn to access it. Let go of the need to explain your journey to those who do not understand it. Let go of the desire to hold on to relationships that are no longer serving your growth. Let go of the fear that being alone means being forgotten. You are never alone. You are never forgotten. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and when the time is right, when this season of preparation has done its work, everything that is meant for you will come effortlessly. The right people will enter your life not to fill a void, but to walk alongside you as equals. The right doors will open not because you force them to, but because you are ready to walk through them. The right opportunities will appear not because you chase them, but because you became the person who was ready to receive them. But first, you must embrace this moment. You must accept the silence, the stillness, the solitude. You must trust that what is being removed is making space for something greater. You must believe that every challenge is a lesson. Every delay is divine timing. Every lonely night is a step closer to the life you were always meant to live. And when this season comes to an end, when you emerge from this period of isolation, you will not be the same person you once were. You will be stronger, wiser, more aligned with your purpose than ever before. You will carry a power within you that cannot be shaken, a peace that cannot be disturbed, a faith that cannot be broken. So, stand firm. Hold on to the truth that everything is happening for you, not against you. Know that God is not just taking things away. He is making room for what is truly yours. And when the time comes, you will look back on this season of solitude, not with sorrow, but with gratitude, because you will see that it was in this space of stillness that you found yourself. That you found your strength, that you found God in a way you never had before. And that is worth more than anything you thought you lost. You must begin to see this season not as a time of emptiness, but as a time of fulfillment. What the world calls loneliness, heaven calls preparation. What feels like separation is actually elevation. You are being pulled away from the familiar so that you may step into the extraordinary. You are being removed from the noise so that you may hear the truth. You are being taken out of the crowd so that you may discover the power that lies within you. There is nothing random about this process. Every shift, every loss, every moment of solitude has been divinely orchestrated for your transformation. It may not make sense now. You may not understand why certain people have walked away, why the doors you once relied upon have closed, why you no longer feel connected to the places and things that once gave you comfort. But one day you will look back and realize that everything happened exactly as it needed to. You will see that nothing was taken from you. Rather, you were being guided towards something far greater than what you could have imagined. Right now, the world may not see you. They may not recognize the changes happening within you. They may not understand why you have pulled away, why you no longer engage in the same conversations, why your desires have shifted. That is because you are being made new. You are being prepared for something higher, something sacred, something beyond reach of the order. The world will only understand when they see the manifestation of what is being built in this season. Until then, you must trust the process even when no one else does. The greatest transformations always happen in the unseen. The tree grows its deepest roots in silence before it ever reaches toward the sky. The diamond is formed in the pressure of darkness before it ever shines in the light. The masterpiece is painted stroke by stroke in solitude before it is ever revealed to the world. And so it is with you. What is happening now, though, invisible to the outside world, is shaping you into the person you are destined to be. Every moment of stillness is strengthening you. Every tear is watering the soil of your future. Every loss is making space for something that is meant to stay. This journey is not for everyone. Not everyone will understand why you have been set apart. Not everyone will see the vision God has placed within you. Not everyone will be able to walk with you in this season of transformation, but that is not You are not called to convince people of your path. You are not called to explain yourself to those who are not meant to understand. And as you are called to walk in faith, to embrace the solitude, to trust that what is unfolding is leading you to something beyond what you could have planned for yourself. There is no need to fear the silence. There is no need to resist the isolation. This is where you find your true self, where you shed the old identities that no longer serve you, where you break free from the limitations that have kept you bound. You are no longer who you used to be. You are not the same person who needed constant validation, who feared rejection, who sought approval from others. That version of you is being left behind. In this sacred solitude, you are being reborn. You are coming into alignment with who you truly are, not who the world told you to be. There is a shift happening within you, a shift that will change everything. Your mind is being renewed. Your spirit is being awakened. Your purpose is being revealed. And though it may feel like you are in the wilderness now, know that every step is leading you closer to the promise. What is waiting for you on the other side of this season will make every moment of isolation worth it. The doors that will open, the people that will come, the opportunities that will unfold, everything will align. In divine timing, but first you must be patient. You must allow the process to unfold without resistance. You must trust that even in the silence, God is working. Even in the stillness, things are shifting. Even when it seems like nothing is happening, everything is happening beneath the surface. You are growing in ways that cannot yet be seen. You are being prepared for a life that you cannot yet imagine. And when the time is right, when the foundation has been laid, when you have fully stepped into the strength of who you are, everything that is meant for you will come effortlessly. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to doubt. You are not lost. You are being guided. You are not forgotten. You are being protected. You are not alone. You are being held. And when this season has done its work, when you emerge from this sacred solitude, you will not just return as the person you once were. You will return transformed. You will return empowered. You will return as the person you were always destined to be. You must begin to embrace the silence, for it is not an emptiness, but a space filled with divine intention. Every moment of solitude is carving out within you a new depth of understanding, a new level of faith, a new awareness of your own power. The world may not see what is happening inside of you, but that does not mean the transformation is not real. It is happening beneath the surface like roots growing deep into the earth before the tree ever appears. There is a breaking that must take place before the breakthrough, the breaking of old patterns, old mindsets, old attachments that have kept you from stepping into your higher self. This breaking is not meant to harm you, but to free you. The attachments that once defined you are dissolving so that you may stand fully in the truth of who you are. You are learning that you are not dependent on anything external for your strength. You are not dependent on the approval of others. You are not defined by relationships that have ended. You are not weakened by loss. You are strengthened by it. It is in this season of separation that you will come to realize what truly matters. You will see how much time you spend chasing after things that were never meant to last. You will recognize the illusions that kept you bound, the fears that kept you small, the distractions that kept you from walking fully in your divine purpose. And once your eyes have been opened, you will never again settle for anything less than what is truly meant for you. Let go of the need to understand everything in this moment. Let go of the need to see the full picture. Your human mind may not yet grasp the divine orchestration that is at work in your life, but that does not mean it is not happening. Trust the process. Trust that the pain has a purpose. Trust that the delays. Trust that what feels like an ending is actually a beginning. Every great leader, every great visionary, every person who has ever stepped into their highest calling has walked through a season of isolation. Moses was alone in the wilderness before, leading his people to freedom. Joseph was betrayed and cast into prison before rising to a position of power. Jesus withdrew to the mountains to pray before performing miracles. The pattern is clear. Before elevation, there is separation before the promise is fulfilled. There is a period of preparation before destiny unfolds. There is a necessary refining. This is the refining season. This is where everything that is not truly you is stripped away. This is where your strength is tested, where your faith is made unshakable, where your heart is purified from everything that is not aligned with your divine purpose. Do not despise this process. Do not resist it. What is being built within you in this season will be the foundation for everything that is to come. You must be willing to release the past in order to receive the future. You must be willing to step into the unknown, to walk forward even when you cannot yet see the path. This is what faith requires. This is what transformation demands. You cannot hold on to what was and step fully into what is meant to be. You cannot carry the weight of yesterday into the promise of tomorrow. There is something greater waiting for you on the other side of this season. There is a life beyond anything you have imagined, a future so beautiful, so aligned, so abundant, that if you could see it now, you would not question a single thing that is happening in your life. You would not fear the solitude. You would not resist the changes. You would not grieve what has left, because you would know without a doubt that everything is happening exactly as it should. The people who walked away were not meant to stay. The doors that closed were not the right ones. The silence is not abandonment. It is an invitation to go deeper, deeper into your purpose, deeper into your faith, deeper into your divine connection. This is not the time to shrink back in fear. This is the time to rise. This is the time to trust. This is the time to fully surrender to the unfolding of something far greater than you can comprehend. There will come a day when you look back on this season with gratitude. There will come a moment when you understand why everything had to happen the way it did. The pain will make sense. The losses will no longer feel like losses. The delays will be revealed as divine protection, and in that moment, you will stand in awe of the way it all came together. You will see that you are never alone, never forgotten, never forsake. You're being prepared. You're being positioned. You're being made ready for the life that was always meant to be yours. So do not resist this solitude. Do not fear the silence. Do not doubt the journey. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And when this season has fulfilled its purpose, when the time is right, everything that is meant for you will come with ease, with clarity, with certainty. You will no longer question. You will no longer fear. You will simply know. Because you will have become the person who is always meant to receive it. Every moment of solitude is an invitation to step deeper into yourself, to listen beyond the noise of the world, to hear the still small voice that has been calling you all along. You are not here to blend in, to follow the crowd, to move as the world moves. You are here to awaken, to rise, to become something more than what you have been set apart. This is why you have been set apart. This is why the distractions have been removed. This is why certain people could not continue on this journey with you. It is not rejection, it is redirection. It is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being refined in the silence. In the stillness, you are becoming stronger, wiser, more aligned with your divine purpose. You may not see the full picture yet, but something within you knows that you are being guided. You can feel it in the way your desires have changed, in the way your mind has expanded, in the way your heart has learned to let go. What once mattered no longer holds the same weight. What once defined you no longer feels like truth. This is the transformation. This is the shedding of the old so that you may step fully into the new. There is the reason why you no longer fit into certain spaces. There is a reason why conversations that once entertain you now feel empty. There is a reason why you feel the pull to go inward, to be still, to disconnect from the noise. It is because something greater is being revealed to you. You are seeing what most people do not see. You are understanding what most people do not understand. The world will call it loneliness, but heaven calls it consecration. You are being set apart so that you may rise into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. This is not a time to seek validation from others. This is not a time to look for reassurance outside of yourself. No one else can walk this path for you. No one else can see the vision that has been placed within you. No one else can understand the depths of your transformation. And that is okay. You are not meant to be understood by everyone. You are not meant to be accepted by the masses. You are meant to walk in divine alignment, to move with unwavering faith, to trust that what is happening within you is far more important than what is happening around you. Let go of the need to explain yourself. Let go of the need to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized. Your validation does not come from the world. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. What is being built within you will speak for itself in time. The shift that is happening inside of you will become so undeniable that the world will have no choice but to take notice. But by then, you will no longer be concerned with their recognition. By then, you will have outgrown the need for approval. By then, you will be so deeply rooted in your truth that nothing outside of you will shake you. Yeah. This is the power of solitude. This is the gift of being set apart. It is not an easy journey, but it is a necessary one. You cannot carry the weight of your past into the future that is being prepared for you. You cannot cling to what was and still step fully into what is to come. There is a shedding that must take place, a releasing, a surrendering. Only then will you be able to receive what has been waiting for you all along. You may not understand it now, but one day you will. One day you will look back on this season and realize that it was the turning point, the moment everything shifted, the moment you stopped seeking and started. The moment you released fear and stepped fully into faith. And when that day comes, you will see that every moment of solitude was worth it. Every tear, every unanswered question, every silent night, it was all leading you to life. That was always meant for you. So trust this process. Trust that what is being removed is making space for something greater. Trust that what feels like isolation is actually elevation. Trust that you are being prepared, molded, refined into the person you are always destined to be. And when the time is right, when you have become the version of yourself, need to receive everything that is meant for, you will come with ease, with clarity, with divine alignment. You will no longer chase. You will no longer question you. You simply know, because you will have become the person who was always meant to have it. You are being positioned for something that cannot be rushed. The timing of your life is not random. Every shift, every delay, every door that closed was necessary. You are not being punished. You are being perfected. The silence is not emptiness. It is divine alignment. The loneliness is not abandonment. It is a sacred invitation to discover the fullness. There are things you must learn in the quiet lessons that cannot be taught in the presence of distraction. You are being refined, redefined, and made whole in a way that will make sense only in hindsight. The world would have you believe that isolation is a curse, that being set apart is something to fear. But this is not a curse, it is a calling. Not everyone is chosen to walk this path. Not everyone is meant to carry the weight of divine purpose. That is why you cannot compare your journey to others. That is why you cannot measure your progress by worldly standards. What is happening in you is beyond what the eyes can see, beyond what the mind can comprehend. You are becoming, and becoming requires separation. It requires distance from what no longer serves you. It requires the breaking away from the old so that the new can emerge. There is a stripping away that must take place before the unveiling. Every illusion that has crowded your vision, every attachment that has weighed you down, every belief that has limited your expansion, it is all being removed. Do not resist this process. Do not cling to what is being released. You are not losing anything of true value. You are being emptied so that you can be filled with something greater. You are being realigned with the highest version of yourself. This is the preparation before the elevation. This is the pruning before the flourishing. This is the fire before the gold. You must come to a place where you no longer fear being alone. You must find comfort in your own presence, strength in your solitude, wisdom in your stillness. Because when the time comes, when the doors open, when the floodgates of blessings pour into your life, you will need to be ready. You will need to be grounded, unwavering, unshaken by the noise of the world. What is being built in you now is not just for this moment. It is for the rest of your life. The lessons you are learning, the strength you are cultivating, the faith you are developing will sustain you through every season that follows. There is no need to force anything. There is no need to chase, to beg, to strive in desperation. What is meant for you will find you when you are ready, and readiness is not about doing more. It is about becoming more. It is about aligning yourself so completely with your divine purpose that when the blessings come, they do not overwhelm you, but instead flow through you with ease. That is why this time alone is sacred. That is why you must embrace it fully. There is a reason why things are happening the way they are. There is a reason why certain doors did not open, why certain people had to leave, why certain plans did not unfold the way you expected. It is all working together for your highest good. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. The unfolding of your destiny is not on anyone else's timeline. It is moving at the perfect pace, even when it does not feel like it, even when you cannot see the progress. Trust that it is happening even when nothing seems to be changing. Know that everything is shifting beneath the surface. Faith is not about seeing. It is about knowing. It is about trusting that what is unseen is more real than what is visible. You are walking a path that not everyone will understand. You are being shaped in ways that cannot be explained. You are being led by a force greater than logic, greater than reason, greater than anything the world can offer, and that is why you must trust this process. That is why you must hold on to your faith, even when nothing makes sense. That is why you must walk forward, even when the path is unclear, because the moment you let go of fear, the moment you surrender fully to this divine unfolding, everything will begin to fall into place. The doors will open effortlessly. The connections will form naturally. Blessings will flow abundantly. But first you must become the person who is ready to receive. You must become the vessel that can hold the magnitude of what is coming. You must allow yourself to be emptied of everything that is not aligned with your higher self. And that is what this season of solitude is about. That is why you have been set apart, not to suffer, not to struggle, but to be prepared to be strengthened, to be transformed, because what is coming is bigger than what you have prayed for. What is coming is beyond what you have imagined. What is coming will not just bless you, it will bless generations after you. Satellite, each so embrace this time. Honor this process. Trust the divine timing of your life. The silence is not an absence, it is a presence. The solitude is not a void, it is a sacred space for becoming. And when the time is right, when you have been refined, when you have become who you are always meant to be, everything that is meant for you will arrive with clarity, with ease, with undeniable certainty. You will not question it. You will not chase it. You will not force it. You will simply step into it because you will finally be the person who was always meant to have it. And so as you walk this path of solitude, know that you are not alone. You are being guided, molded, and prepared for something beyond your imagination. The silence is not a sign of abandonment, but an indication of transformation. You are not being forgotten. You are being refined. Every moment of stillness is shaping you into the person who can hold the blessings that are coming. When the time is right, everything will align effortlessly. The people meant for you will find you. The doors meant for you will open. The purpose meant for you will unfold. And when that moment arrives, you will look back and realize that the solitude was never loneliness. It was preparation. The waiting was never wasted. It was elevation. The separation was never rejection. It was elevation. Trust this process. Embrace this season. Walk forward with faith, knowing that everything is working together for your highest good. And when the day comes when everything falls into place, you will not just receive the blessings, you will be ready for them, because you will have become the person who was always meant to have them. For the next few minutes, I'm not just going to talk at you. I'm going to take you through something and experience a shift, because by the time we're done, you won't just understand what's been holding you back. You'll feel something inside. You change. You'll start seeing things differently, not just your thoughts, but the way your reality has been shaping itself around you this whole time without you paying attention to it. And once that happens, everything starts falling into place effortlessly. So here's what I ask of you for the next few minutes. Let go of distractions. Give yourself this moment fully, completely, because what you're about to hear isn't just something to learn, it's something to step into. So let's begin. I want you to go all the way back to a moment in your life when something you wanted badly just wouldn't happen. Maybe it was a relationship, a job, an opportunity, something you kept thinking about, hoping for, even obsessing over. And no matter what you did, it just wouldn't manifest. Now contrast that with another moment, a time when something incredible just fell into place effortlessly. Time when you barely even thought about it, maybe didn't even care that much, yet suddenly it happened. Almost like magic. Why does this happen? Why do the things we chase seem to run further away, while the things we're indifferent about seem to flow to us without resistance? Well, there is a hidden mechanism behind this. In fact, many people either haven't paid attention to it or simply have no idea it even exists. First, let me tell you why this happens, because once you fully understand this, I'm going to give you a simple but powerful way to start using it intentionally. And once you start applying this, you'll see a dramatic shift. The very things that once felt out of our reach will start flowing toward you effortlessly. So listen closely, because this is the moment everything changes. The universe, or more accurately, your reality, isn't something that's happening to you. It's something that's responding to you. And this is where most people get. You're not waiting on reality to change. Reality is waiting on you. Think about it. How many times have you wanted something so badly, but it just wouldn't come? And then the moment you stopped caring, the moment you let it go, boom, it showed. That's not a coincidence. That's the law, because when you chase, when you obsess, when you keep looking for proof, you're telling reality that you don't have it. Reality will always mirror back the state you're in. But the moment you stop needing it, stop checking, stop trying to control it, that's when it starts moving towards you, not because you gave up, not because you stopped wanting, but because you shifted into the version of you that already has it. And when that happens, everything aligns. This is exactly what Wayne Dyer was trying to get you to see, he said. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and that assumption sustained will harden into fact. Now think about that for a second. He didn't say hope for it. He didn't say wish for it. He said, assume it. An assumption isn't trying. It's knowing when you assume something is already yours. You don't chase it. You don't keep looking for signs. You don't sit there wondering when it will come, because in your mind it already has. And that's exactly why doing nothing is the key, because the moment you assume it's done, you stop interfering, you stop overthinking, you stop doubting you. Stop trying to force it into place. And that's when things begin to move. Because reality finally has the space to shift without resistance. You've probably noticed that the things you desperately want take forever, but the things you don't really care about, they show up effortlessly. Why? Because when you don't care, you're not blocking it, you're not attached, you're not micromanaging, you're not in a state of waiting. And so it flows. So the real question is, how do you use this to bring everything you've ever wanted into your life without pretending you don't care? Because let's be real, you can't fake detachment. You can't just sit there and tell yourself, okay, I don't care anymore, while deep down you're still checking, still waiting, still hoping. That's not letting go. That's pretending to let go. In reality, it doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you actually feel. So how do you actually do this? How do you detach without forcing it, without struggling to feel nothing, without tricking yourself into a state you don't really believe? Because once you understand this, everything changes. That's exactly what I'm about to show you. Stay with me. The first step, the very first step, stop chasing right now, whether you realize it or not. You've been in, I need this to happen mode, and that mode, it's keeping you stuck, because every time you think, where is it? Or why isn't it here yet? You're reinforcing the fact that it's not here. And the truth is, if you already had it, you wouldn't be searching for it. So let me ask you, if it was already done, how would you feel? Would you be anxious? No. Would you be constantly checking? No. Would you be doubting? No. You'd be relaxed, confident, certain. And that's exactly the energy that makes it show up, because once you stop searching for proof, once you stop waiting, once you stop looking for signs, you step into the energy of already having it. And that's the energy that pulls it toward you effortlessly. So from this moment on, stop looking for it. Stop waiting for it. Stop questioning when it's coming. Instead, step into the energy of knowing. And the moment you do, everything starts shifting. Now let me show you how to stay in this state without falling back into doubt. Stay with me. The second step, now that you've stopped chasing the next step, is staying in the state of already having it without slipping back into doubt. And this is where most people mess up, because at first you might feel confident, you might feel, okay, I've got this. I know it's already mine, but then a few hours pass, a day, maybe two, and suddenly that little voice creeps in. Wait, but where is it? That moment, that's the test. Because the second you start searching again, doubting again, checking again, you undo everything. You slip right back into the energy of not having it. So how do you stop that from happening? You make peace with not knowing when or how it will happen. Read that again. Because this is where the real shift happens. Most people can assume for a moment, but they can't let go of the timeline. They can't surrender the how. But if you become unstoppable, because the moment you stop obsessing over when it will come is the moment you prove to reality that you already have it. And when you're no longer chasing, no longer waiting, no longer desperate for signs, it has no choice but to show up. So from this moment forward, when doubt creeps in, do nothing. Let it pass. Let it go. Because when you can sit in that space without reacting, without forcing, without needing, you step into effortless receiving. And that's when everything starts moving towards you. Now let's talk about the final step, the part that locks this into place permanently. Stay with me. The third step, at this point, you've done the two most important things. One, you've stopped chasing. You're no longer operating from a place of waiting, searching, or hoping. Two, you've learned how to sit with uncertainty without breaking the energy of already having it. Now comes the final step, locking it in and letting it flow. And here's the key. You must make peace with the silence before the manifestation. This is where most people fall apart, because after they stop chasing and settle into knowing, they expect an immediate shift. They think, okay, I'm doing everything right. So where is it? And that thought alone pulls them back into waiting mode. But here's what you need to understand. There is always a gap between assumption and reality, catching up that gap. It's not a delay, it's alignment. Reality isn't testing you. It's recalibrating itself to match your new state. So in this final step, your job is simple. Keep living your life, stay in ease. Refuse to stress about it, because when you can hold that energy, when you can sit in silence without scrambling to make something happen, it will come. And the best part, it won't just come, it will come in a way that feels effortless, natural, and even better than you imagined. So from this moment on, when doubt creeps in, when impatience starts pulling you, do nothing, not because you don't care, but because you already know it's done. And once you can do that, you'll never chase again, because everything you want will start chasing you. So now you know. Manifestation isn't about doing more. It's about allowing the moment you stop chasing, stop checking, stop waiting. Everything falls into place. You don't have to force it. You don't have to beg for signs. You don't have to wonder when or how, because when you truly step into the state of already having it, reality will begin to shift to match it. And now it's up to you. You can go back to overthinking, second guessing and waiting, or you can do the one thing that changes everything, nothing. So here's what I want you to do. Type I let go, and it flows in the comments to lock this in. Declare it, feel it, let it be final. And if this resonated with you like this video, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all.